There we go. Thanks everyone for joining August community meeting. Little bit of scheduling difference. We obviously in July did this a week later, so it's a little bit of a shorter window between meetings, but still some significant stuff to talk through and update, obviously. We'll go through our normal agenda, values, committee updates, finance, numbers, and then open up for Q&A. Core values pertinent right now. Talk through safety in particular. We'll talk about our updates to our in-person plans on the next slide, but obviously also transparency, action, and community guiding the work that we do, and hopefully some of the stuff that you'll see in the slides to come reflect that. So let's just jump right into it. Obviously, our summer strategy has been interrupted, much to everybody's chagrin. If you've been in the last couple of these, we've been talking about a focus over the summer for the organization to kind of work through the balance of our online programming, which has been around from the start as well, and beginning to incorporate in-person programming to that. We started that off. We had a good kind of setup of multiple venues to do shows at and stuff like that. But as we announced over the weekend, we've postponed any indoor either shows or workshops. We hadn't actually scheduled any indoor in-person workshops, but we were discussing that with a few people. Both those are going to be postponed indefinitely while current situation with COVID cases, Delta variant transmissibility, and importantly, the Baltimore City mask mandate are in place. As we've been doing, we've been kind of reviewing the news and the numbers on a regular basis, roughly, like officially, like checking every week, but I open up my Google search for Maryland COVID rates like twice a day, which is a personal decision that I should probably change for my own sanity. But we will be looking at that regularly. I think obviously we've been discussing that a key factor is likely to be the mask mandate and where that stands and when that gets lifted. A lot of the discussion over the weekend leading up to the decision was that having to perform in masks, especially for improv, is pretty limiting. And so if that was going to be something that was going to be around, that obviously took a lot of the reward away in the risk reward equation. So we have a document that kind of continues to update the numbers that we have nationally and locally, as well as information about what our current plans are. That document also contains all of our information about the venues that we're working with. So hopefully in the future, that document will be more focused on how do in-person activities at Highwire work? What does each venue have in terms of accessibility? What does each venue have in terms of facilities? But right now, it's obviously very focused on the COVID situation. On the positive side of that, we are still continuing with outdoor live non-online shows. We have one of those on the 19th we're super excited about. We are going to start talking to some of the venues we're looking at about potential additional outdoor shows during season 4. And we'll if we're able to get more of this booked and if it continues to be safe to do so, we'll try and get all the teams who were going to do in-person shows a slot sometimes during season 4. We don't know exactly how many we're going to be able to do yet or how that will exactly work. At the very least, we'll be offering everybody online shows in replacement of the in-person ones. So obviously a lot there, always a changing situation, but appreciate all the kind of feedback we got both before and after that decision. Obviously not straightforward. Anything else to add on that, anyone? I feel like that's the big news of the day. Yeah. And a lot of people have seen it already.
I have a question.
Sure.
Sorry. Sorry, I'm in AA, so I'm down to I'm an alcoholic. I just auditioned for an improv company, and they are not asking any of their members or any of their audience attendees, no one. They're not asking about vaccination at all.
Yeah.
Have you guys made a decision about that?
Yeah, so that's a great question. One of the things we outlined in the document is that while we could ask people for either proof of vaccination or vaccination status, we didn't feel like we could be certain about that. And either because people wouldn't be willing to share that information or because you never know the veracity of that. So all of our guidance so far has been under the assumption that there may be unvaccinated individuals present at a show. And that's kind of driving what our decisions of safety are. We have been pretty strong and firm in all of our communication that we recommend people be vaccinated if they're going to perform in these indoor activities. But we have not gone so far as to say we will verify that vaccination status or take any steps to do so. We're open to it, but we have not done that yet.
Even for members and audience, cast members and attendees are the same. It's all sort of like an honor system. You're not asking members to be vaccinated.
Correct. We have not required that.
Yeah, and part of that, just to jump on that, is that we don't control the venues, and we really don't have that ability to say, if they're not requiring it, we kind of can't go over what they're doing. So, fortunately or unfortunately, the mask mandate made all of that moot, because then that was the bigger issue of how do we modify that. I mean, yes, we are encouraging. I am hoping, asking, pleading personally that people do that. But we just didn't feel like we had that strength of power. And I do believe that within our community, we know that there is a very significant number of performers who are, and we kind of just know that of the people who we were booking, we kind of had a very good feeling about that.
Yep. Great question. Did I hear somebody else? Did I hear anyone else pop in there for a second? I thought I heard 2 people unmute, but if not, I will continue. Cool. So moving on to more fun stuff. Despite all that going on, we actually have gotten a lot of other stuff done in the past few weeks, which is really exciting. On the marketing side, you may all be distracted by this wonderful GIF that I'll get to in a second. We've been continuing to add to our merch stores, both what I've taken to describe it as reasonable merch and unreasonable merch. Our reasonable merch has been extended to include we ordered season 3 poster stickers. We've ordered some Highwire logo coasters and some Highwire logo and name magnets for cars and stuff, or refrigerators or whatever you want. And then the unreasonable merch, you can see dancing on your screen right now, is a really exciting thing that has been going on with Corey and Corey's Packed Games. He's now showing this. You can see his video. I'll stop sharing for a second so you can see more clearly. A really exciting project called the Highwire Deck, which is a modular improv and gaming card system that we're super excited about. Look at those beautiful cards. We're finalizing some of the marketing, some of the production of that, but it should be going live relatively soon. You can see they've got all kinds of cool stuff on them. They're dense. They're very dense gaming things. And yeah, Corey, super excited about that. Thank you so much for taking a fragment of an idea mentioned in a committee meeting and turning it into a physical thing. Pricing is in discussion. I think it's somewhere around 21, I want to say 21, 20.99 was the figure we talked about. And that'll generate a little bit of profit for both Highwire and Packed Games, but more importantly, it's what a marketing tool. Super exciting to get us out there in a fun way and get people to know about us. The rules and the kind of the things you can do with them from an improv point of view will be there'll be a printed booklet in that box that Corey was showing, but also a online one that can be added to over time. So we can always add kind of improv exercises to it that utilize the various elements of the card. I'm so excited. It's just like a perfect encapsulation of everything that's been great about Highwire in the just action to do something fun and the amazing fun output of it. So really excited to see those in physical people's hands.
Yeah, one thing I will say, we used
Oh yeah.
A prototype. It's about a month or 6 weeks ago in a practice, and while there are so many things on there, it was not distracting.
Yeah.
Like it was easy to you when we were using them for an input for scenes. It was very easy to see what you wanted.
Yeah.
We were using emotions or words or locations. It didn't. It wasn't like, oh, where do I look because of
Yeah.
the color coding and all. It was just fantastic to work with, and
Yeah.
I take all credit for that. I'm sure I inspired Corey. I inspired Corey somehow when I was hosting a show, so I'm gonna just take credit. Yeah.
When I designed the cards, I said, what would Brian want?
Right.
And I went from there.
Seriously, it's super exciting. Thank you so much for all the work on that, Corey. It's going to be super cool to see it in the wild. I think people are going to be delighted and surprised. So on the programming front, as mentioned, obviously have shifted some things around, but season 4 is live. We have a huge amount of stuff going on. Brian, you want to talk through some of this?
Sure. Yeah, we had a great response for the calendar, and I think we talked about it at the last meeting. It was
Yeah.
3 weeks. I think we're still possibly maybe finalizing some details when we had the meeting. It's a smaller group of teams, but that's not unexpected with summertime and some areas of the country able to go back to in-person improv. We did have a bunch of teams saying they were taking at least August, maybe even several months off, or some teams that were limited time runs that they had their run and they were moving on to another project, which is a fun thing. I hope we can kind of implement at some point. So we have reduced our calendar at this point to 5 days a week. We are not streaming on Wednesdays. We are not streaming on Saturdays. The Saturdays were because of the planned in-person shows. The Wednesdays were just to give us a break. We will be possibly making some changes there as we try to get some teams who had in-person shows, online shows. But to be honest, we had several of them were already scheduled for online shows.
Yeah.
Some of them had submitted for both, and when we finished the schedule, there were some open spots, and I sent an email out to the in-person teams, and several of them had taken advantage of that. So I think the Wednesday day off for those of us who do a lot of the volunteering was an amazing just burden reduction. Just to went last Wednesday to have just not have to worry about that. So I think we'll keep the Wednesdays, but we might do some Saturdays. We'll see if people were into it. The people who had Saturday shows, we're gonna, we've kind of put a lot of energy into the working on the what to do with the in-person. So I think we'll kind of reassess that soon. So yeah, it's been going well. We've had a week of shows. It went really well. And if you had an in-person show, just let us know if you want an online one. We will probably touch base with most teams soon anyway. And as Barry said, the outdoor shows, we had a group of 6 of us at the first Friday at the Highlandtown Art Walk outside of Rust and Shine. Thank you to Millie for making that connection. It was super fun. We had an audience of, I'd say, mid-20s throughout the 30-minute set we did. It was just super fun. It was a really, really fun time. Just to get some people who someone were probably just walking by and saw it and got to see us being really silly out there. And then Old Line, the show is coming up. As you can see on the screen, we have 4 teams performing that night. It's an outdoor courtyard, and having talked with their events person before, like when we were first setting it up, they're super vigilant about keeping things safe and distance and all that. So yeah, we're really excited about that coming up, and we might be able to get some more. We might be able to have some more things happen.
Nice. The merch that was previously mentioned has just arrived.
Oh. Oh wow! It's an unboxing.
We have an unboxing happening. Yes. So good. While the unboxing is occurring, I'll take the moment to to mention Kristen's update while she's unboxing on education. As mentioned, we're taking a break for workshops in August, along with a lot of people, but we're in progress of booking workshops from September, which is super excited. Here comes the merch. We've got coasters.
Ooh.
Coasters. Let me stop sharing so we get a full size video. There we go. Coasters.
Ooh.
Super excited about those. Yes, you're getting a lot of oohs and ahs.
As I should.
Yes.
More stickers.
Stickers.
Ooh.
Jeff is being contrarian with somebody's being contrarian with their vowel sounds.
E.
You.
Okay.
Sometimes why?
Sometimes why. Oh,
Magnet.
nice
Oh.
magnets.
Wow.
Oh, we got some wows for the magnets. Some dog barking.
And it looks like they sent season 3. They were supposed to send stickers, but it's magnets.
Oh, we've got instead of getting
Ooh.
season 3 stickers, we got magnets. Oh, those are nice. I love
Ah.
What?
Happy
They were supposed to be
accident.
stickers. I wonder, I must have messed it up.
That's fine.
They're stickers for metal.
Yes, they're metal stickers.
Haha.
Those are
They're
cool though.
reusable
so we got-
stickers.
Nice. And then more coasters.
Yeah, we got a bunch of coasters.
Awesome.
These will be like just given
Yeah.
out along with the stickers.
Set
and the
aside one of
magnets.
everything for me.
Million would like you to set aside one of everything. Awesome.
How did I do that? I
What
must have
timing?
messed up.
Should recommend.
I must have messed up and accidentally done.
Maybe
Yeah.
they messed up. Maybe
Yeah,
they messed up.
they could have messed up. That's true.
It was probably here.
In terms of the anti-racism, anti-oppression committee, we had a great workshop this past weekend with the team to create access there out of the UK, and specifically focus on disabled neurodivergent improvisers. It was a remarkably good workshop. We had people from multiple different theaters, from Highwire. Millie and I were both there. Really, really actionable, clear stuff. There was demand for a second workshop. We'll try and get that scheduled probably in like October or November, and bring them back. But really, really exciting. We'll send some follow-ups and notes out to the committees on that. Money stuff, pretty standard in terms of how the previous few months have been going. Have had continued workshops and donations be the kind of primary source of income. We have tickets on here for the first time, which is exciting because we had an in-person show and we charged people for it, which was cool. It's not 100% reflective of how much money came in and out because a lot of the tickets were taken in through Venmo or Square, and the money is sitting in those accounts, so it hasn't kind of hit our bank account. What we took in, we sold out the in-person show we had in July, and so it was certainly more than $33 worth of tickets that came in there. We'll find a better way to reflect that at some point. Also exciting, we've been paying the in-person teams for the shows, which is cool. Trying to set that precedent as a baseline for things moving forward. Then on the expenses side, the normal stuff as usual, software and instructor fees, the bulk of the expenses, and we made a little money month over month. All good there. And then last thing here is kind of continue seeing growth in all of our kind of social numbers and viewership numbers. Definitely has tailed off a little bit, especially like on the online viewership. Part of that is it was only 3 weeks since the last meeting, so it's not an apples to apples comparison. And also one of those weeks was our week between seasons where we always have decreased viewership. But also it's just continued needing to find new ways to find new people. So that is all the slides. I see some chat messages coming here. If only I had one pop off. Yeah, that goes for a lot of us. And yes, it was our seasonal bye week. Cool. Any questions or answers or things that we didn't cover that people would like us to cover? Wonderful. Excellent. We will keep everybody posted on online and outdoor things. It's definitely something that could, we could see some changes in the next couple of weeks, and potentially get some more things booked in. But otherwise, season 4 rolls on, and we are excited to get some of the marketing stuff and merch going, getting ready for the return to the fall and the school year. And I'm sorry for mentioning that. I shouldn't mention the school year to anybody. But getting back to the regular non-summer activities for folks. Yes, trigger warning for Millie. Apologies. Cool. That is all I think for today. Does anybody have anything else? Otherwise, we'll wrap this up and get it posted. Yes, Diane.
Yeah, I had a question.
Sure.
Are you guys accepting new members who are vaccinated and have been in a social bubble for a really long time?
Yes and no, in the sense that we don't have members, or we don't currently have anything like a house team that people audition directly for to be a performer at Highwire. We are going to have our rolling submissions for future seasons for different teams. The best thing I would say is to get onto our mailing list, which I can send you. What's that?
And come to the jam on Sunday.
Yeah, we have the jams on Sundays. The mailing list is a good way to get looped into any kind of ad hoc performance things. When we have like the Highwire Hive, for example, which is just kind of anybody in the community who's available for a particular show rather than a structured group. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. I will stop the recording and get this posted. And yeah, good to see everyone.